Today we are going to expose loan apps and credit platforms. Usually I used to wonder, how do these loans and credit platforms flourish? Because there's this saying I tell myself all the time, that if everyone thought like me, most businesses won't even prosper. So how does this loan app flourish despite the fact that this their accumulated interest rate is damn harmful? Can't people see through the facade and this illusion they painted that they are doing you a favor by giving you this loan? I saw a recent ad from a loan app that I would not mention its name. It portrayed the customer as he didn't have money to pay his phone bill. So most of his phone calls are like, yo, call me back, call me back, call me back. But ever since he started using this app, his phone calls are now long. They showed another side of him making an extended phone call. So they portray these finances as free money, but that's not the fact. This idea and this illusion that this loan that you get from these people is free is very destructive. It's a very destructive idea that this is free money. That's the first one. Let me give you a personal story. Something very interesting happened recently which inspired me to make this video. There's a guy called Mark. He stays in our house, literally, he lives with us. So Mark would come back from school, he would isolate himself from us. Mark, what's the problem? Nothing's the problem. A little bit, small time, he takes someone's phone, he uses a little bit, drop it, starts thinking. We didn't pay much attention to Mark's new behavior, but all of a sudden, started disappearing from our bank account. Money started disappearing from our bank account. We checked the narration, it somehow transferred to some unknown bank account. We held Mark down, we looked through his bank app, and we saw the multiple transactions he made. Yo, why did you steal from us? He said he was in debt. We figured out he was in debt, and the interest had accumulated by this time. He was in dire straits financially, plus he was facing depression. I said to myself, beating this guy and kicking the shit out of him is not going to solve the problem. It's like Buddha said, hatred is never solved by hatred and a misunderstanding by an argument, but by a sympathetic desire to see the other person's standpoint. So we asked him, why did you do this? He said he needed money because he has taken so much from this loan app and he used it to gamble. He turned to the gambling table, hoping to multiply it, pay the loan app and pocket the difference. So there are two sides of the coin, which the first side we are going to attack is the loan app. The second is the betting platform. I said to him, look, you are never going to win this, you are never going to win the lottery. And if there's a topic you want to learn, we've gone in depth into that kind of topic, so you can watch it in the link. I'll link the video up this description. So I told him, you're never going to win the lottery. And mind you, this loan app go as far as charging 40% for a month, 40% of interest just for a month. And mind you, once you default after that month, it begins to pile up. So he borrowed 20k and a 7k interest. So what he owed is 27k. How the hell are you going to get 27,000 just within a month? So I started from the first angle, which is the betting platform. Look, you're never going to win this betting. You're never going to get rich off betting. You are more likely to walk out your apartment and get crushed by a medium than to win through this betting platform. You are also more likely to become the next president of the United States than to win the lottery. So now that's out of the way. I said to him, look, betting is a business the same way a farmer would till the ground, nurture it, water it, stimulate an atmosphere of rain during drought. He's more likely to make a profit because the odds are in his favor whenever you're doing a business, extrapolate that into your own life. Even the business that you do, you're more likely to make a profit, yeah, because you're doing something legal. The Bible says a diligent hand shall be made fat. So anytime that you are within your sphere of influence or doing business, the odds are always in your favor. Now back to the story, the odds are always in your favor. Back to the story of our dear friend, the farmer. So once he tills the ground, he's more likely to make a profit. Sometimes the wind might come to defeat his effort, or the rain, or he might not make as much as he projected. But 90% out of the time, he's going to make a profit. So when you go turn to the gambling tables, the odds becomes against you and now in the favor of the housekeeper. So if you win, if the dice turns red to the uppermost against the five blue sides, you get four times your amount at the dealer's expense. But if it turns blue or any other side, you lose your money and the housekeeper rakes your hard earned money. So is there any man that can win occasionally by such way? Exactly. So majority of you are going, yeah, but I know this guy who won $100 million. I know this person who won. The reality of it is, majority of people who win big, once you do the check and balance, they are barely breaking even. That's the first thing. The second is you know more losers than winners. Personally, how many of you or how many winners who have made it big do you know actually know the people who made money through gambling? How many do you know personally? Exactly, there are few, because a win for you is a loss for the betting platforms. A win for you translates to a loss on their balance sheet. And those are the kind of people they hide. Those are the kind of people they push for the media to glorify. They say, this guy just won $100 million. If he can do it, you can do it as well. So come bet, come pour your money into gambling, and maybe one day you'll be successful, which is not usually the case. So those are the kind of people they glorify. Even you, your business, say you're not working a 9 to 5, majority of you are entrepreneurs. Once you do business, you're more likely to make a profit. So the odds are in your favor. Maybe sometimes you might get bad debts or some kind of debtors who refuse to pay that you have to write off. But 80 to 90% of the time, you would make a profit. So those win for the debtors translate to a loss for you, a win for them, a loss for you. The same thing with these betting platforms. You're never going to get wealthy using betting platforms. From the loan side, like the example I gave you, to borrow 20K to pay 27,000 in interest within the space of a month. How the hell do you charge somebody 40% of the initial capital? This is broad daylight robbery. And the worst part of it is he turned to the gambling tables and he lost it all. So we have to start educating him that loan is not the way. These people are ripping you off. You're barely breaking even. And the Bible says it. The borrower shall always be a slave to the lender. Look at your life now. You're working so hard to pay these people. And once you're done paying them, you barely break even. So I started educating him on how this thing works, showed him a couple of businesses and a couple of things he could do with his time in order to start generating income to pay off this debt. So do not learn from your experience. A wise man learns from other people's experience. I told him you spent close to 200K to learn this experience. Had it been you asked me or anybody around, you would have had extra 100K cash in your pocket and not made this mistake. So majority of you who are watching this video, please do not make this mistake. I'm pleading, do not make this mistake. Do not learn from your own experience. Learn from others' experience. So do not the loan app is people say do not touch debt, it's evil. But I cannot look at it like this. If you do not understand the concept and the rudiments of death, then it's probably not for you. It's like giving a grenade to a child and expecting him not to blow himself up. Give that same grenade to a man, he would use it to fend off the invaders, keep the civilians safe. So timing is very important. If you do not understand the rudiments of death, stay away from it. I highly recommend you consult a tax official before you engage in any of these loan platforms. And you do not need money. People view these loan apps as free money, and that is what they portray it to be. This is not free money. You're going to get into trouble with this loan app. And I told him it's only a matter of time before you get access to a huge line of credit. And once you get that credit, with some ridiculous amount of interest, you put it into gambling, you lose, and you are dying of depression inside. It's only a matter of time before you end up suicidal and kill yourself. You might say, no, I'm never going to do that, but you're stealing from us. You're stealing from us, bro. You stole from us. You're never going to do that. See what this thing has done to you. So, my friend, if you're not ready for a loan, do not touch it. As always, my friend, I hope you got a lot of value in this. I'll see you in the next one.